Hello, I'm Dr. Gurung. I'm a consultant psychiatrist. Today, I wanted to make a video on brain fog. This is one of the topics that I have seen in a lot of my patients post-COVID. To understand that, I have to spend some time to do a bit of research on it. So the best explanation which I found on this topic is to understand this. First of all, we need to understand what actually happens. So if I have to explain this from the point of survival model, we need to understand in the survival model. It's called as there's a pyramid. In the lower pyramid, the, there's a defense. The second is stability, and the third is expansion. So if you look at the human brain, the function of a human brain, first of all, is to protect. Second is to preserve energy. Normally, if we have to compare in an older generation, uh, imagine an early man in the forest. If they encounter any problem, the normal reaction would be two reaction: flight, fight, flight. That means, for example, if a tiger approach, then the option would be to fight or to run away. Now, in the modern world, and there's one more concept that is not clearly explained, that is a freeze reaction. And freeze reaction is in that situation, if you know that if you fight, you're not going to win the tiger. Second, if you're going to run, you're not going to win the tiger from running and escape. The third is freeze. You're just waiting for something to happen for a tiger not to attack you. Okay, so this is the things that happens. So once we understand the two concept of survival pyramid, second, we understand how our brain function. We also have to think that in the modern world, how it is um, reacting. So in the modern world, we don't need to worry about the defense because we are living in the protected environment. The second thing that we look for human is stability. Because of the current job that we are doing, it has impacted the stability. And when the stability is impacted, there are two things that happens. Once the stress level increases. Second, there's overstimulation of the brain, and that hampers the recovery of the brain. That is the reason why we tend to have burnout. In a burnout, there's one more concept which is also seen when effort is not equivalent to a reward, that indirectly increases the stress level. Now, if that situation happens, the brain function is to preserve the energy. So, in preserving the energy, you have to keep in mind the executive, the brain function, which is the frontal part of the brain, takes the maximum of energy. So, in a human body, the brain is only like 2%, but it takes about 20% of the energy. So, if this kind of cycle repeats, then the brain goes to a phase called allostatic overload, in which the prefrontal cortex function shift to amygdala, which is always in the fight and flight kind of reaction. So in this kind of situation, a lot of things that happens, which is like procrastination, demotivation happens, and the brain functions goes down, and the people feel the concept of being brain fog. Brain fog basically means the ability of the brain functions, especially the frontal lobe, goes down, and your energy also goes down, and you are not able to think clearly. Now, the question is how we can deal with it. There are different kind of research that has happened, and one of the research which I found quite interesting is it can be dealt with having a proper structured. Proper structure means a routine. For example, in my case, I'm sure about how my week is going to go. So the week provides a bit of like stability. Number two, exercise. Exercise helps to reduce the cortisols, the stress hormones, and also help to calm your body, and helps to preserve your energy. Number three is sleep. Sleep is important because in our brain there's a lymphatic system which activates when we sleep, which is the high flow of cerebral spinal fluid and takes away all the harmful chemicals in the brain that helps to relax the brain. So in summary, what I've discussed here today is I've discussed about the concept of brain fog. Number two, I've discussed about the pyramid, which is defense, stability, and expansion. Expansion means love, care, and the higher function. I've also discussed about the concept of flight, fight, and freeze. and I've also discussed about ways in order to deal with the brain fog. So the three ways of dealing with it is having a proper structure, sleep, and exercise. Thank you very much.